Riley Carmen, and I'm here with some of my friends representing the War Eagle Girls and Plainsmen, just to tell you all a little bit more about what we do and some of our capacities that you may not know about. So first, I'll start by talking about the work that we do with the Office of Advancement. Within Wakeview, we have the opportunity to engage with and host events for donors, both in Auburn but also on a way trip, so like we did in Normandy.
Yeah, my name is Walker Wilcox. I'll talk a little bit about what we do with athletics here at Auburn. So we travel to all the away games, helping out wherever they see fit. So we also do some events here on campus, like we work a NIL sort of like question and answer session with Stephen Pearl and the athletic director John Cohen. So basically, anything that athletics asks us to do apart from traveling to away games, we help out with that as well.
Awesome. My name is Jalen Boynton. I have the honor of serving as the Plainsman. So nice for you guys to have us here. I'm going to talk about the Office of the President, which is another entity that we work on behalf of. One of my favorite things that I got to experience this past winter break was the Christmas parties that we put on. That gave us the opportunity to meet a lot of people from the community, but also administrators here on campus that I had otherwise not have been able to meet. So you get to meet a lot of different dynamic people and people from different backgrounds, which is one of my favorite aspects of Wakeview. But it's just one thing that we always do.
Hey, I'm Ellen Cannell. So obviously you didn't get to hear the full Wakeview experience from just our local here today, but there are 3 info sessions that are going to happen between now and when applications close, which is on February 20th. There's one on January 29th, one on February 9th, and then one on February 18th. Those are all going to be in different locations, kind of different times. So you can find more information on the War Eagle Girls and Plainsmen Instagram, and then you can also find the link to sign up for interviews there. It's separated by War Eagle Girls and then Plainsmen. So make sure that you sign up for the right one that you're interviewing for. You can also scan that QR code, and thank y'all so much for having us, and we hope to see y'all at interviews.
Thank y'all. Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time? We're now going to hear from AUDM.
Hi everyone, my name is Reagan Connor and I'm currently serving on the Campus Relations Committee, and we're so excited to be here at SGA to share our heart for Auburn Dreammakers.
Hey y'all, I'm Danny and I also serve as part of our Campus Relations Committee, and I'm so happy to be here tonight with Senate. Hi Auburn. So Auburn University Dreammakers is a fully student-led organization raising funds year-round for East Alabama Health's pediatric and NICU units. Together, we have a unique opportunity to make a tangible impact right here in Auburn, supporting our local community and the Auburn family. Every dollar stays local, helping us expand pediatric care and enhance life-saving NICU equipment so that our families can receive excellent care close to home that they otherwise would have to travel 2 hours to get. With your help, we are able to help these kids heal, grow, and dream beyond the hospital.
Right now, we're currently recruiting for our main event, which is going to be held on February 21st in the Student Center Ballroom. By signing up, you'll have access to a 12-hour-long event, 12 service hours, a t-shirt, and some pretty cool, awesome food and activities. It's going to be such a fun time, and please trust me on this, like, you are not going to want to miss it. With that opportunity, you'll also be able to raise money for our hospital and just make such a big impact that we don't even fully understand. And you'll also have the opportunity to meet with the Dream Kids and their families, which are former patients of our hospital. And they're so excited and proud to share their stories with you guys.
These kids love to see everybody. We try to visit the hospital really frequently, and seeing us makes their day because they also want to come here in Auburn. They've grown up with us. Like, they're so excited to see everybody for the event. If this interests you, you can look us up on Instagram at AU Dreammakers, or you can scan that QR code to register through AU Involve. Starting tomorrow, we will have a discount code for our registration fee, which is RPW5. And that's about it. I hope to see y'all at Main Event 2026, and thank you so much for having us. Thank y'all.
Thank you all. Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time? We're now going to hear from the College of Pharmacy.
Hey y'all, I'm Carson. I'm the president of the Harrison College of Pharmacy. I'm Kat. I'm the vice president. We're just here to kind of go over what we've done as a college so far this year. This is our council here. We have our vice president, our president, our senator. We also have a treasurer and a secretary. Then we have a treasurer and a secretary down in Mobile as well at our Mobile campus. And we're also holding elections coming up right after May SGA election. So just some of the social events that we do this year, we have our leadership luncheon, which is like kind of our big event in the fall. It's pretty much Thanksgiving. We all get together as a college. We provide food for all of our students between class time. Our dean comes out and speaks to us, just all about leadership. That's kind of a theme that's going on throughout the college this year. We also have our popsicle truck. It's in collaboration with the Auburn Board of Pharmacy, so they bring out the popsicle truck and then we can just go out there on a sunny day in between classes as well. It's just some time for us to get fresh air. We have our organization fair where we get to showcase all of our organizations in pharmacy. We have quite a few organizations in the pharmacy world, hospital, community, anything that you can imagine, you can find it in our college. We also have Partners Day here coming up in the spring. It's kind of just like a big field day. We get class off and we get to go something out with our teams. And it's a big competition that we host kind of throughout the year.
And we're just a few more pictures. We host lots of health fairs through different organizations. And then we also have our chili cook-off, which is down in that bottom corner. It's again part of our Partners Day event of just competition, but then also like fostering community within the college and raising funds for our college as well. And then some service projects. We do participate in Beacon with food drive and a career closet drive. We have the business casual class event, and so our students have lots of extra clothes to donate, which has been great for us to just sort of be a part of the bigger Auburn campus since we are a graduate program.
Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time? Now here in the College of Agriculture.
Thank you all. Well, good evening. I'm Jonathan Portman.
I'm Lee Murray.
And for those of y'all that don't know us, we serve as the president and vice president of the College of Agriculture, and this is our year in review. So this is our monthly Ag Council meeting. So we host monthly meetings with for all the clubs in our colleges. We've got 35 plus clubs, organizations, and roughly 1,100 undergraduate student bodies. At these events, we host professors, industry professionals, stakeholders, and just anyone to provide professional development experience for our clubs and organizations. We find it refreshing. We collect feedback. We host pumpkin decorating contests. But it's just a great way to figure out what's going on in the college, collect feedback, and connect with our organizations.
Yep, so this is our welcome back picnic, which is always the first week of fall semester. So this is hosted on Comer Lawn, which, if those of you that don't know, is currently being renovated, but it is pretty much our headquarters for the College of Ag. This is where all 30 plus of our clubs and organizations will all have a booth or a table, and it's used for these upcoming freshmen, new freshmen, to kind of get involved within our college. We also have some pretty good food that we provide as well.
Ag Roundup is the same weekend as our homecoming event, so it's for alumni, students, organizations to set up booths, fosters alumni student networking, different foods, outlet, poultry and egg, all kinds of breakfast. It's a great time. Next slide.
So this was a fun event we did. We did our annual Texas A&M College of Agriculture and Life Sciences and then our College of Agriculture Council Exchange. So this year, since we played in Texas A&M, we drove all the way over there. And we just have a few photos of us interacting with their council, but it serves as a great opportunity for networking and exchanging ideas on how to improve our College of Agriculture.
So this is our service/philanthropy event this year. We wanted to focus on local community. As you can see, there's hay and wool, food, and some barrels around, but we serve at Storybrook Farm, which provides disability therapeutics for people in the community. Ties back right to the College of Agriculture and was a great way of meaningfully serving the surrounding areas.
This was also a fun one. So this was a fishing outreach event with the College Forestry and Wildlife. So Luke was actually the one who reached out and asked if we wanted to be a part of it, so we appreciated it. But as you can see, the event served mostly for people who've never really been fishing or aren't the biggest outdoors types to kind of get involved with nature. And it's out at Pat Dye's place in Crooked Oaks, so really fun.
Finals week, coffee and donuts. Pretty self-explanatory. Coffee and donuts for the college. We stayed outside the Biosystems building. That's me right there. Always a great time.
Cal College Classic. So this was an event partnered with Alabama Cattlemen and Cattlewomen's Club. As you can see, it's a cow show. So we went out there, we cooked breakfast starting at about 6 a.m. in the morning, and we had a good time.
This one was kind of unique this year, so if you don't know, it's election year, that's fun. So we hosted the Department of Agriculture candidates, all three of them. Hosted a candidate forum, things got a little heated, it was at the Red Barn. Next slide has pictures. Had a packed house, was a good event. Yellowhammer News came, Alabama politics, it was a good time. Met all the candidates, one of them's going to be your next commissioner of agriculture, so that was pretty cool event.
And then wrapping up here about mid-March, we're going to have Beyond the Farm, which is on Auburn's green space. As you can see again, there's your Senator Wolf right there. So this was awesome. This is pretty much for any non-specific ag majors to experience our college clubs and organizations and kind of just see what we have to offer over there on Ag Hill. Thank you.
Thank you all. Would anyone else like to go out the open forum at this time? We'll now hear from the graduate school.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Can I get a quick show of hands? How many folks in the room are graduate students? Hey, Kylie. Next, I'll just be telling you guys a bit about the Graduate Student Council. So we have our own separate Senate from SGA that has about 105 folks in it from every single graduate program across campus. I won't hold on too much. Next slide. So graduate students, as you know, as you probably work with them, are across the entire campus. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. Okay. But yeah, so we have one graduate student senator, Kylie, in SGA, and then we are on the President's Leadership Council, Executive Student Council, and the President's Council, as well as 6,200 graduate students across the entire campus. Next slide. Thank God this is messed up. So we focus on three separate things. We focus on research, community, and outreach and advocacy. So for the research aspect, we work with the graduate school to host the 3-minute thesis competition, as well as the research symposium. If you guys do research, please sign up. It's fantastic, and there's prizes for both competitions. We also host a monthly colloquia, as well as give a few fellowships, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then we have an FYE mentor-mentee program, as well as a holiday toy drive and family festival that we host every year. And then for advocacy and outreach, we have a lot of health and wellness. I was going to say welfare, because it says welfare, but that's wrong. Health and wellness initiatives with both the student counseling and psychological services, as well as Office of International Programs. And then we have a new initiative this year, which is the Graduate Student Appreciation Week, coming up in the first week of April. Next slide. So for the fellowships, we give about $40,000 a year to fund conference travel fellowships. It's roughly, it is exactly 8 a month at $400 per student. That typically doesn't cover anything. Maybe half of a flight or something, but it's just something to help graduate students attend those top-tier conferences. So I'm really proud of this slide. Just the travel fellowship funding over the past 10 years, 10 years, has dramatically increased as we've become a Carnegie R1 Institute. And hopefully it keeps going up because we really need it. Next slide. The second fellowship that we give to, that we award is the Child Care Fellowship. This essentially just allows graduate parents to be able to participate in graduate activities by providing child care and offsetting some of the very high health insurance costs that you've probably heard of from the student side. This year we're slated to give about $40,000 away. Next year, that's going to go to 0. So hopefully we have some initiatives that can, supplant those. Next slide. Yeah, so the graduate school has grown quite a bit in the past 10 years. As we became an R1 research institute, there was quite a step up. However, unfortunately, the GSE funding hasn't, gone up that much, but hopefully that'll change next year. Yeah, and then the graduate student initiatives that we're, sort of externally facing right now are increasing the minimums, the provost minimums stipends. I'm looking at Provost Nathan right now, but it's okay. We've talked about this a bit. And then discounting health insurance for children, as well as modernizing the graduate student governance experience. Yeah. And then I really don't do anything. The executive board does everything. I'm blessed with a really fantastic team here. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Else like to utilize open forum at this time? We'll hear from the College of Nursing.
Hi everyone, I'm Kira. It's just me tonight. Grace is busy, so we'll be real short, real sweet. So obviously I'm president, Grace is VP, and then Kimmy is our senator, and we do not have an executive council below us. It's just us three. So these are some of our goals that we set at the beginning of the year, and I'll address some more in these next few slides. So first off, we wanted to start with a solid foundation. This is the first time in a while that nursing has had all positions filled via spring elections. So it was really nice to start off with a firm foundation of people who knew what they were getting into and kind of wanted to achieve the goals of SGA. So that was a great way to start off the year. And then we've also learned to collaborate real well with our ambassadors because we have a lot of the same roles and responsibilities. So being able to do events with them and kind of just collaborate overall has been super helpful for getting a good ball rolling and for the next few years as well. And then establishing annual and future events for the next executive council. So again, just keeping a seamless transition for those to kind of keep building off of the foundation that we've set. So overall, one of the big concerns that we heard in a student feedback survey was the main issues of parking and dining. Well, nursing has a very specific and kind of unique scenario where we are a little further away from the rest of campus, and all we have up there is a C-store, so it's tiny, there wasn't much going on, kind of just random snacks that would run out every so often, and nursing students are at the building a lot, so we have classes from 9 to 3, 8 to 4, and not a lot of time to run home or go somewhere else. So our C-store, Grace did a great job of meeting with our campus director of dining, and Mr. Glenn came up to the nursing school and saw, okay, this is more than just your average complaint of having, food issues. So he was able to come in and see and kind of work with getting us more kind of meals to have for when we have lunch. So Amsterdam wraps, sandwiches, more food in there. And then we also were able to realize that we can request any food that we want. So asking students what they want to have in there as well. And then I serve as our undergraduate BSN representative, so I have the joy of going to all of our staff and faculty meetings. And I get to speak on behalf of the students and address their concerns and problems that they're having or things that we're facing within the college. So that's been a really unique experience, and I've got to learn a lot through that. And then this is our C-store, so before it used to be very empty, but now we have our Amsterdam wraps and everything, and then obviously this food wall, which gets restocked every single week, and it's super beneficial. And then here are some of our effective events. So nursing students often say that they don't want to be at the building any more than they have to. So coming back to events later in the evening or things like that, they will not come. So we really had to maximize on the time that they're there. So having events where they can just go up to our student services lounge, come up and just grab things while studying or between class breaks has been very, very effective for us. And then there's Boo Bash, which is our overall college and nursing social, and we were able to do a candy bar for that. And then also with our other events, we partnered with Eat Bama Food Tribe and other organizations within our college as well. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you from AUConn. If y'all have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to utilize open forum at this time? All right, seeing none, we will now go into approval of the minutes. The minutes were sent out 2 Tuesdays ago. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing there are none, the minutes are now marked as approved and corrected. We will now go into reports from our officers, beginning with the president.
good to see y'all. Just a few updates for me this week. Something to be looking forward. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we do the Board of Trustees meeting. That agenda is going to get finalized on Wednesday. But some things to look out for in that. There's going to be some more conversation about what the future of the head center is, which is exciting. So be on the lookout for that for school. Moving to now, I have a meeting with parking on Thursday this week, kind of just going over a couple of initiatives that we have been working on and hearing from students. We also are going to be getting some feedback, or giving some feedback to them about the wheels-free zone, how we can improve that, and also about the new partnership, some of the feedback that we've gotten from student groups on how to make that program better as well. Ring display, y'all can expect the ring display to be installed later in February, which would be awesome and a great addition to the student center on the second floor. And also I've got President's Council this week, so if you guys have any feedback that you'd like me to bring to that meeting, all of y'all's colleges will be represented there as well. But feel free to come grab me after if you have anything you would bring to that meeting. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Owen. Now for our treasurer.
Hey y'all, Ring Week is next week, so we'll be out in the Student Center from 10 to 3 every day, Monday through Friday, selling rings. So if y'all have reached your 75 credit hours, you're eligible to come buy one. And then similar to last semester, we're doing a 3 ring giveaway. So that opened today, so y'all can enter on AU Involved. And then the link is also in our Instagram. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Haley. Now for outreach.
Hey everybody, hope y'all are staying warm and not freezing to death. I know I'm struggling against that bear right now, so prayers out. So we are have some angel shot updates to share that are super exciting. Last week we actually had the opportunity to get into 1716 Southeastern and Taquarita, which is really exciting. And we're meeting tomorrow with Eric Smith and the Health and Wellness team to try and kind of move that initiative to their team so that they can really continue it well and make sure that it's something that is constant throughout, every administration in SGA. And then also, so we had breakfast with the mayor on this past Friday, and it was really, really good. We were able to share some feedback and basically just kind of wanted to update y'all. I know we talked a lot about this year about 320 crosswalk and kind of putting in a stoplight at Thomas Street and kind of making a solution for that. And then we talked a lot about with the city, and they are very committed to finding a solution, but they are currently conducting a year-long traffic flow study throughout the whole entire city of Auburn. But the area that we are talking about specifically and the area that concerns 320, they're researching right now. So they'll be getting those numbers back sooner rather than later. And hoping to find a solution, and they are dedicated to finding and enacting a solution sooner rather than later again. So we're all kind of still working together, but that study is going on. So the project will not be starting in the immediate future. Thank you all.
Thank you, Vera. Now for Chief of Staff.
Okay, hello everyone. Get excited. We are going to have our All SJ celebration out on the Milton Student Center patio project, as long as it is warm. If not, we will relocate. But we're going to hopefully have food, celebrations, speeches, awards, all the things. It's going to be so much fun. So go ahead and put it on your calendars, and I hope to see y'all there. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Madeline. Now for initiatives.
Hey y'all. Y'all know y'all can clap when we have a happy announcement, like a celebration. That's exciting. You can smile, show emotion. Okay, never mind. Y'all, of course. Okay, OSP contract closes February 20th. Please tell your wards if they would be in the block. Fill that out. Also, please make sure that your organization's AU Vault roster is up to date. Get everyone who was here like 2018 out of there. Get all your new members that got here this year in there. Make sure it's up to date so we can get an accurate look at your grades. Donahue sidewalk, quick piece of feedback. If you're on North Donahue, you're leaving Louder, heading towards like goalposts. There's a section of sidewalk there where one side it doesn't have a sidewalk actually. But there's like some gravel. Raise your hand if you like walked that before. Maybe that's your like everyday kind of cool. We've been looking into that and talking with the city, but just wanted to get some feedback on kind of numbers and percentages. Last thing, concessions feedback. Got some feedback about concessions in Neville Arena, that Tiger Card wasn't able to be used everywhere.
I think we got all those fixed, but just kind of a quick rule of thumb, if you're outside of the like normal lower student section, and there is a concession stand that also sells alcohol, you may not be able to use your tire card, and that's simply because there's a little bit of a bug fix, or a little bit of a bug that you're trying to get fixed, but since you can't use your tire card to buy alcohol, it's sometimes easier for the software just to not let you use it at all, which they're trying to work through, but if it's not working at one station, just try to find one that doesn't sell alcohol, and it should work. If y'all have any other thoughts or issues on that, please find me, and we can talk. Thank y'all. Where you go?
Thank you, Mims. Now for committee reports, beginning with academic affairs.
Jones Engineering, hope y'all had a good weekend. This week, Buckley and I had a meeting with Dr. Ray Gardner and the registrar to talk about the implementation of course tags and tiger scheduler. Had a good conversation about the logistics of what different tags might look like and all of that stuff, and we came to the decision that we're going to try to start by doing a pilot test case on course expenses and see what that takes us. So.
Thank you. Now for ADF. Budget and Finance.
Hello business, hope you all had a great weekend. I have three things. First, the budget finance process for the fall is going to be starting here. The initial budgets are due March 4th, so that's kind of be a weird transition, but that's how the new process is going to be. So we'll be doing that here. We just sent out the initial email today, and so we have that coming, and then two pieces of legislation we'll have tonight. One is for service, the other one is for the South End Zone project. That money is coming out of a reserve fund from SGA, so that money is not from our reserve fund that all students pay for. So those two things will be coming across as future orders. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Now for Code of Laws.
I feel like I haven't been here forever. We had a couple of pieces of legislation coming across the board tonight. Just one smaller code change, the continuation of the SAP removals, and then some code changes regarding the absences for Senate code, and then we've got the Business Student Council Constitution coming across the board tonight. So we think we have just a couple more small code changes to finish out the term.
Thank you. Now for Student Affairs.
Florida at large report.
Thank you. Now for Freshman Committee.
Hey y'all, I'm Caroline. I think the main thing recently is all the freshmen are really loving the patio project. Seen a lot of people. I was sitting in there the other day, last week, and people kept walking by. I'm like, oh, gotta get over. So yeah, really thankful for that.
And then something that I've heard from a few people is, especially with all the rain, some of the pathways, like the pathway besides for the side North Keller, are getting really washed away. It's just sand. So something else.
Thank you all. Now for our Executive Committee.
Massey at large. Hey y'all, please keep filling out the office hour info form. I have a lot of responses, but not all of y'all yet. So please try to submit that tonight because we'll add it to the box. I know we only have a couple weeks left, but might as well post it. And then I'm going to do attendance. So Senator Lord, Senator Wisdom, Senator Poole, Senator Bolton, Senator Alspa, Senator Blanco, Senator Bowman, Senator Campos, Senator Congo, Senator Connor, Senator Duro, Senator Eskew, Senator Ford, Senator Hale, Senator Herring, Senator Holliday, Senator Hassett, Senator Jones, Senator Story, Senator Perdue, Senator Pritchett, Senator Roberts, Senator Robertson, Senator Scott, Senator Smith, Senator Stanley, Senator Sturry, Senator Troutman, Senator Berner, Senator Ward, Senator Watson, Senator Wolf, Senator Weiss, Senator White, Senator Wilson, Senator Kelly, Senator Wyman, Senator McReynolds, Senator Davis, Senator Darrison, Senator Sally, Senator Linder, Senator Dolan, Senator Ingram, and Senator Zulia. Okay, thank you all. And then a reminder again, we have exec Thursdays at 7 a.m. if y'all want to join. But especially if y'all are running again and interested in exec. Y'all should really join. I know it's early, but thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. Now for liaison reports, beginning with the Honors Congress. You now for BSU. Next in order is future orders of business, beginning with PSSB 2601, 2601 through 0601, brought to you by Senator Helm.
Hail business, I ask for the approval of the following: the allocation of $2,407 from the reserve fund to the line item titled SEC Food Fight of the service budget. These funds would provide service with the ability to expand its communication efforts for service initiatives, particularly as they relate to engaging large groups of students and community members.
Are there any questions on this future order? Seeing none, we will move into PSSB 2601, 2602, brought to you by Senator Helm.
I ask for approval of the following: the allocation of $1 million from the SGA reserve fund to the line item titled Initiatives of the Student Government Association budget. These funds will be used to construct the South End Zone project.
Are there any questions on this future order? Senator Wise.
A different source. I give my time to
And Owen.
hand out.
So the SGA Reserve Fund is built up over years, and past presidents have earmarked money that is supposed to be used for big projects like this. So it's past student activity fee money that goes into this reserve account that is earmarked by those presidents. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're just gonna take y'all through really fast, kind of where this project came from, and what we hope to do with it. And so if y'all remember at the beginning of the year, we presented our exec goals, and those were in kind of 4 big buckets. And one of the buckets was support development of spaces that create an exceptional student experience to ensure Auburn remains distinctively Auburn. And then under that, we wanted to expand the South End Zone concourse to include necessities such as first aid. And so a lot of y'all might have noticed on game day, the concourse looks like this, and it's really hard to navigate during really busy times. And so we are hoping to expand that. And then the next slide is the map, so that y'all can see exactly the area that we're talking about. So the North End Zone is what the construction has been in the past, and what we're currently proposing is that area that's circled in the light blue by the parking garage, which is the student center. And so expanding that corner so that we can fit more things like first aid.
Yeah, so a little bit more about the project. The total cost to expand the South End Zone is going to cost $1.5 million. SGA is looking to contribute $1 million of that. The other 0.5 is coming from the athletic department, who will be completing this project by the upcoming 2026 football season. So that construction will happen this summer. Be ready for the fall for this next football season. First, the expansion, less crowding within the student section. You guys saw that picture. That's just one example of many occurrences of congestion and backlog within the student section, and that affects the entirety of it. Additional food and beverage options. That was a major source of feedback. Not only that there was just not enough areas for vendors, but also that the lines from the existing vendors would kind of get into the concourse, and that was causing a security problem, and also just the congestion that we saw too in the picture. Room for first aid stations. This is something that isn't present in the lower part of our student section. We've tried to get larger presence of first aid this season, and we were able to get a little bit, but first aid does not have the space and the ability with a crowd like that to navigate from one end of the student section to the other. So this expansion is going to allow for there to be a permanent first aid station within the student section. That's something that's going to be able to serve all students going forward. Last line, structural support for, that's supposed to say future additions to the Jordan-Hare Stadium. So what that means is that with this expansion, there's going to be a structural foundation that's going to be built in that's going to allow for the athletic department in Auburn in the future, if they choose to expand that section, that upper section of the stadium as well. So there's going to be the support needed if there's ever any future projects with this expansion as well. So it's kind of doing two different things. That's all we've got.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Yes, Senator Weiss.
It would not, or, no, I mean, pretty much all university operations, like the Albee House is down there, there's that whole under part, like that's all we do to operate as normal. It's just gonna be expanding that kind of top part. There's like the physical room to do that.
Are there any other questions to this future order? Yes, Senator Sturdy.
We have about 4 million members so far.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Yes.
Why is SGA covering most of the costs instead of athletics?
I mean, this is a student-based part of the stadium, like the students are the only people that use this part of the stadium. So kind of if we want an addition to be made in the student section, we kind of have to take charge of it. While we are covering a big portion of it, athletics is also covering a portion of it too. They're covering $500,000, which is, I mean, a third of the project. So that's kind of why. That's kind of a partnership, something that we're kind of doing with them that is an important student.
We did this with the patio project as well, so very similar last year. We gave $1 million for the patio project. So when we have big things on our exec goals that we want to get done, we put our money behind them so that we can help get those things done quick.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Senator Connor?
So would it just be expanding that far out to add the birthday kits? Is that kind of?
Yes, it's like, can we go back to the picture slide of the circles? But pretty much, yes. Like envision the concourse just larger. It's like, go to the picture. So that concourse larger. So there's just more room. I mean, it's literally a larger concourse.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Senator Connor?
And so you said it's coming out of the SGA reserve fund, which is from past student activities funds that has been earmarked by the president. You kind of go into like, should they just save that money from what was not used and just put it into the SGA reserve fund? Like, kind of confusing on like how they should make themselves about. And like other organizations have that same ability or something like SGA?
So the reserve fund is built up by past student activity fees that aren't used. So student activities that aren't used are rolled back into SGA for the most part, and then they go into this reserve fund. And so other, like Colin has presented a bill earlier, that other student activity or other SAOs can request money from that reserve fund, but this reserve fund is also used for large projects. So like past presidents have sat down and like reserved an amount of money, we call it earmarking, for like specific projects, but then there has also been money that's been earmarked for just large projects that SJ feels passionate about. So we're using that specific earmark because when that's done, the money can only be used for that thing. So we're using like an earmark that's for a big project for this project. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Senator Troutman?
So, when we say this like rolls over through a year, is that like at the end of every fiscal year, there's a designated amount that goes into it?
It's not a designated amount, it's what isn't used. Yes.
Are there, Senator Congo?
Is there a timeline that you're looking to do this? I can't remember.
By the next football season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions on this future order? I yield my time to Ramon.
Thank you for yielding your time. Are other SAOs or student orgs able to use your money in their budgets right now?
No, it's an SGA president job to do that.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Yes.
Why
how do you guys over budget? Who covers that? How's that?
We're not gonna give any more money than what we're asking y'all to.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Senator Pritchett.
Can we expect that it is under budget to return that to the reserve fund, or will they get straight back to that fund?
That'd be a great question. I would imagine that we would try to find the ratio split that we have right now, less over 2/3 of it. But that's a great point. I hope it comes under budget, honestly, because then we get some money back. But that's what my advocate would be for.
And with the patio project, we had continued conversations, so it started like last year with Will Goodner, but I had continued conversations with the student center as money was being spent. So I kind of had a hand over it and watched that as well.
Are there any other questions on this future order?
Will the construction, like, do they need the tiger fences over to during the summer, so
Would affect tires, I believe. It would be during the summer, but they're not, no effects on tire transit for Heisman Drive.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Senator Jones.
What is the university's plan if this falls into football season and they're still ongoing construction?
That's kind of a great incentive for them to do it on time, because they do not want to get into football season. So kind of a bigger picture thing is going to be having this expansion of the stadium is going to allow the athletic department to do some things in the future that they want to do with the stadium. So there's like multiple different incentives, not only just for us to be in the student section on time, for them to do this in the time limit that they do with us.
Are there any other questions on this future order?
Has there been, like, from like surveys within the office from the students, or is it just kind of like SGA has seen this as being a problem?
Yeah, we've gotten lots of feedback on that issue of concessions that I voiced to you earlier. I mean, that was our main concern that we received all football season from students in terms of feedback. Also, there were multiple instances of just the inability for first aid to access students that needed it during the season. And that was surely because of their true inability to traverse the student section. So this is something that's going to be helping them as well. A little bit of it.
Are there any more questions on this future order? Okay, thank you all for all your comments, questions, and concerns, and thank you, Owen and Haley, for answering all of those. Now we have PSSR 26012603, brought to you by Senators Congo and Jones.
Congo business, this is a recommendation for an introduction of a syllabus repository for Auburn University courses. Yes, okay. So this kind of came about from, we surveyed people from, students during Apple Night and kind of saw that they're looking for this and kind of want something to help guide them when taking classes, doing class registration. Also, through some research, we found that a bunch of universities, you can see the second 2 points, already have implemented something that's like this. And so we're looking to propose this and implement it into the fall 2026 semester. And it also include that we're asking to omit instructor names and other identifying information just so it might appeal better to the faculty. But we're also CCing Christopher Roberts, Vinnie Nathan, Angela Wiley, and Trace Braingarden.
Are there any questions on this future order? Yes.
Do you have a number of students that were surveyed for this? It's around 200. And like in the survey, was it like made clear that the instructor names were omitted for this?
Not necessarily. It was more asking if what students are looking for, if they wanted a syllabus repository or something different, and really why. So we're asking more specific questions on that, but just to look to figure out structure for it.
So I think that target some of those more specifics with course tags that we were talking about earlier.
So without the instructor names, how would you differentiate this from just a course description that is provided?
allows students to understand the structure of classes, and you kind of hear it from student to student or the platforms of the professor, but this allows you to really understand what the expectations for class to class, or just allows you to understand the different classes you can take that semester. But we're omitting instructor names because we think that it might be more, I don't know how to explain it, like it would appeal better to faculty if they knew that it's not like a student's not taking their class because it's them instead of their course material. If that makes sense.
It kind of protects the professor's privacy as well.
Yes, sure.
And also it protects if they make any changes to the civil code.
Are there any other questions for the speech order?
Are the syllabus, are they gonna be like required instructions where they have to take their services or
Yes.
Are there any other questions on the speech order?
Have the other schools that implement this, they have their services for this as well, as it's just us?
That is a great question. Was going to
I'm gonna answer that for them. At different institutions, it's different, but there's a lot of institutions that admit instructors. Are there any other questions on the speech order? Senator Hill?
Or, like, since you said that teachers or professors need to be omitted, does that mean that, like, there's multiple teachers for the same class? Like, will all their syllabus be in there, or will it be like?
Yes, all of them.
Are there any other questions on the speech order?
Josh, I know you had a concern about the university not really feeling like there's any privacy, but our syllabuses are like displayed publicly. So what's your plan? I know you have to think on that, but kind of how it's going to be for the university about who Auburn students can get into.
So, some universities, they have their banks locked behind, like their student ID and that kind of stuff. So I believe that's what this one is. So it's making that accessible.
Are there any other questions on the speech order? Yes.
I just say that because, with all like the AI stuff changing, all the software changing so fast, I feel like that's just getting wrong personally, is that I just took a class that maybe needed 3 times as code.
It's more meaning, like, if there are any changes, they're allowed to make them year to year. But it's more of, it gives them more incentive of you have to look over your syllabus every 2 years, if that makes sense.
Are there?
It's kind of like a 4 or 9.
Yes.
Are there any other questions to the speech order?
So,
Yes, Senator Thomas.
so how does the assessment, because I know it said it'll be in box, so where would this be posted at?
What will the syllabus repository be posted? I mean, those kind of logistics stuff aren't.
It'll come once we put it forward to faculty.
Are there any other questions on the speech order? All right, seeing none, we will now move into PSSB 26012604, brought to you by Senator Ward.
Board Education, ask approval for the following changes on the University Student Government Association Code of Laws regarding this drug removal. This is just a continuation of some things that we said in the past.
Are there any questions on this future order? All right, seeing none, we will now move into PSSB 26012605, brought to you by Senators Poole, Campos, and Sturry.
Campus nursing, so basically what we were just stating here, I'm just going to explain some of the differences. So with committee meetings, when it came to absences, you used to have to let your committee chair know and the president and pro temp know 12 hours before, but now we're changing that to
one business day after the absence occurs. Going along with that, unexcused committee, it used to count for 1/2 of a Senate absence, now it will count for 1/3. Another change is you were used to be allowed 3 unexcused absences, that still remains, but it just is 5 in total absences. And what used to be said is that you would forfeit your seat, once you hit those kind of 3 unexcused absences. But we've changed that now to you have to go in front of the Senate Board of Review, which Lily will talk about a little bit later. And the last thing I want to add is that upon receiving 2 unexcused absences, you will be notified with a warning from the President Pro Tem.
Full at large. So the board of review is a process similar to what the executive student council reviews is. This is just when you get to 3 unexcused absences or 3 unexcused, 2 excused absences. That gets to be a lot during our 1-year term. So once you reach that, then you'll have a board of review meeting, not board, but a board of review meeting with the SGA advisor, the SGA vice president, the president pro tem, the Senate, and the executive team officer, and the Senate exec committee. And this would just be a meeting, we'll find a time and talk about what sanctions we're gonna do, or how we're gonna address all the absences. This process used to be very rigid, but we obviously want to work with you guys while keeping you accountable for what you set out to do during your terms. So some of those options of sanctions could be doing extra office hours, doing Senate minutes, watching the Eagle Eye minutes, and then anything else that the Board of Review would deem appropriate, including the impeachment process. So,
Are there any questions on this future order? Yes, Senator.
So, when you mentioned the impeachment process, is there any sort of system of checks and balances to keep the Board of Review from going straight to the harshest punishment? Kind of similar to the academic dishonesty and how it's a multi-step process, and they're not going straight to, the impeachment process or something like that.
yeah. Currently, in the code as it is right now, it's straight to forfeiture. So I think that this process kind of acts as a checks and balances to be before we get to that point, we obviously, that's the last thing we would want to do is have to postpone. So instead of doing that now, that would be having a meeting, talking about what we do.
There's also, I'm just going to add, there's also impeachment code already written that this would follow.
Yeah, there's a 2/3 majority vote for everyone. So it wouldn't just be us.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Yes.
Quickly, I just kind of confused on compensation of additional office hours. Are they on college?
Yes, I guess it wouldn't be a punishment, just a way to kind of still be fulfilling your role if you are having a problem getting to Senate, or if something, weird comes up where there's an extenuating circumstance, that would just be a way for you to continue your role without, being there. Obviously, we want to encourage that, but if it came to that point.
Are there any other questions on this future order? Okay, seeing none, we will now move into PSSB 2601-2606, brought to you by Senator Bull.
Full at large. So this is the constitution for the executive student council for the College of Business that Shay and I have been working on. So I'm going to yield my time to Shay, and she's going to give us some of the main changes we made. She's the business school president.
Alright, hey everyone, thanks for having me back. Yes, so we just updated the Constitution from, it was in 2017, so kind of just adjusting how we actually do things. And so that would be our director positions, as well as some of our teams falling off, DEI no longer exists, and so we're just kind of working through those logistics, as well as being referred to as the Harvard Executive Student Council has been a little confusing, because we have an executive society, so being referred to as the Harvard Business Council has been a lot more functional for us, as well as just kind of adjusting community clubs and making the Constitution a little more timeless, as things are constantly changing in the business school. And then as well, something we noted is that for different events that we need to do within the business college, we'll have to have different directors. So we have our main 4 or 5 teams, and then committees as they pop up for different events.
Are there any questions on this future order?
right, seeing none, we don't have any current orders of business tonight. I'm just gonna go into my announcements. I forgot to change my spot up there, so Max, don't even worry about it. I just have a couple reminders and announcements regarding elections that are coming up next week. I know a lot of y'all are candidates or on campaign teams and you've done this before. So just remember to be respectful and self-aware, especially when you're doing chapter visits and all the things. And you know what it was like when you ran last year. And then I'm just gonna give a quick example. If you're a candidate and you're coming in here to do a chapter visit, just be respectful of everyone around you. For example, last year when I had my chapter visit in here, we're all sitting in the room together every Monday. We know who each other are. So I just had my campaign team and like MIMS come up with me. And that was it. We don't need every senator in the room to come up with you, but if that's what you want to do, feel free to do it. But that's all for tonight, and this meeting is now adjourned.